Boom! Yo, what's going on, you guys? Byron Rogers here for another episode of the Protector Podcast. Check it out. I've got with me shooter Rughi. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good, dude. So, for many of y'all who haven't put two and two together yet, this is the guy. I should actually take that back. This is the Marine. I'm getting my 2 points for this. Yo, this is the Marine that snatched that rifle away from peaceful protester who was vandalizing the police car and took a rifle out of the police car. We'll throw in the clip. And man, I'm so glad we're able to catch up because this is essentially what the Protector Nation's about. It's about being willing, capable, and prepared enough to bring on-scene accountability to mayhem, disruption, kinetic, dynamic violence in your environment. So, yeah, man, I just want to commend you on that and say thanks for joining us, dude.
Yeah, I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity. It's it's great. There's just so much going on. My brain's scattered all the time, so I apologize if I'm a little left and right on it. But decided to sit down here and talk with you.
Heck yeah, man. Nah, no worries, bro. I got all the dyslexic TBI. Like they're used to it, man. We're two grunts, bro. So yeah, man. One of the questions I like to ask in the beginning of the podcast is a little deep, but it helps everyone understand the man behind the work. Who are you at your core?
Yeah, a little deep, dude. That's literally the deep.
That's the point to everything.
That's the Laurentian abyss.
There he is. There's some depth right there. That's what's up.
I always felt like there are certain keywords that every individual hears about themselves from others throughout their entire life. And whenever I'm helping an instructor, I have an assistant instructor or something like that, that's usually the keywords I ask them for to so I can make that introduction. And a lot of people through my life have used the words easily approached, comfortable to talk to when they get there, down to earth, intuitive, and some say sensitive. And it took me some maturing to understand that, they didn't mean I was crying in my in a movie theater or something. They meant that I was able to read and pick up on little things and understand when, something was wrong or something was about to happen. And I try to put that forward in my firearms instruction as well as in my job. And that's, I obviously had to use that on Saturday. But at my core, man, I love guns. I love to shoot from rifle, pistol, long gun, precision. I love all of it. I'm trying to get into, become a bigger, better person every time. I'm trying to get into the gun world and industry. And now I'm literally last Wednesday before this kicked off, I started, I'm gonna start trying to build a business. I'm gonna start try to do this dream that I've had that I haven't touched yet. So I guess that's who I'm at my core in every way.
Yeah, no, that's what's up, dude. That's kind of the name of the game, man. I don't know, for me, I came up in the private security game and I found myself just being all right, I can do this pretty good, but how can I make more of a contribution? And then also that was sparked by, this is kind of painful being jerked around all the time because I have to go where the money is and not being able to be with my family.
Yeah.
And so it was this whole, I got to find freedom, dude. I gotta figure out how to create a life that I want to, I don't know, they can give me what I want out of this 10 minutes we got till we die. You know what I mean?
So I agree. And out of that 10 minutes till we die, I have 0.0001 of a second that's giving me an opportunity to do something.
Heck yeah. Which I think is awesome, dude, because it's really it demonstrates how an act of heroism and an act of within one split second decision can put you on the map. You know what I mean? It's one correct decision, and the same is true of one bad decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're a Marine, you're an infantryman. It's probably not even the most legit thing. This is probably a slow Tuesday, just the cameras were rolling. You know what I mean?
Someone's like, "Oh, you were probably really scared and everything." I've heard that. I was honestly, I can't remember thinking once that I was scared. I definitely wasn't registering feeling. I was just doing. And I don't, and I know it's super cliche or cliche, and that definitely is overplayed. Just But I was just doing it, man. I was just like, I need to get these things away from them. I can clearly tell they don't know what they're doing, and they're already making aggressive decisions, and they've done nothing but escalate. And this word that keeps getting thrown at me, hero, it just needs to stop. Like, I appreciate the support, but nah. My wife told me before I left that day, be safe, and I was like, just for you. And the first thing I thought of after all of it was, my wife's gonna kill me.
Yeah, man. No, that's good.
I didn't register any kind of fear, man. I was just trying to get those things and get away. It really,
yeah. You just saw what needed to be done, and you're willing to like shoot that gap. No, I dig it, man.
I made that decision. I made that decision years ago. I've made that decision thousands of times since. And when that decision came up and it was for real, I had trained mentally to make that decision.
Yeah. And you didn't fail yourself. Heck yeah. That decision, let's talk a little bit more about that, man. What's that mean to you?
Well, I mean, it literally means the exact same thing as you teach in firearms. Is, it's if you need it, then you don't have it, right? And I guess you can say you're conceal carrying that decision, because I needed it, but I had it, and at that time, that decision apparently became the most important decision of my life, and it could have become that kid's, or both those kids, because I took 2 rifles. It could have been both of those kids' worst decision of their life.
100%, dude. I'm sitting here minding my business. The world's burning, right? Mike Penon hits me up and on a text message. And we talk all the time, you know what I mean? But like, this was one of those like, yo, I haven't seen this. So Mike Penon sends me a text and he's like, yo, bro. And he basically is like, this dude was there to work. He's like, this other dude he was like, you can just tell, essentially what he's saying is you can tell the difference between trained humans and untrained humans. And one of you was operating up here in terms of intensity, efficiency, and all these things. And the other one was just like, kind of like, just, I don't even know what the word is, bubbling the rifle in his hand.
I guess nasty. I feel bad for saying this. I'm not quite sure who that is.
Yeah.
Mike Penon, who's that?
He is like, he's got a lot of nicknames, but he's a Delta Force operator who went to Delta Force from Marine Corps reconnaissance. He stood up, I believe it was part of Triple Canopies first program over there.
Okay.
He's one of the big dogs. Some call him War Yoda. He's got one eye, and he'll still burn us all down at the shooting competition. We shoot competitions on.
So he's Cable.
He's basically in the flesh. In the flesh.
Oh man, that's badass. Well, thank you for that compliment that he paid to me from you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. It is refreshing in our world. Now we feel, I don't know, like guys like us tend to feel like Lamborghinis in school zones, or having to drive in school zones like all the freaking time now, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was refreshing to be like, yes. It was like, get that.
That's the same kind of feeling. So, I mean, we talked before this, and you kind of said some of the things you wanted to talk about, and I guess to get in that is that same mindset of Lamborghini in a school zone. It's the same kind of mindset I had to frame around my mind going into work that day. Is I'm going to be around a bunch of people that I disagree with, and that if we got to talking, I'm probably going to hit them. And it's not going to be a smart decision on mine. But I had to frame my mind and make the decision like, all right, I need to be this guy at this time during this thing, and I need to keep my mouth shut, because I could very easily, just being there, set off something happening. And it was definitely being inside an environment that it was uncomfortable, because I didn't like anyone there.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the let's see, because it kind of almost goes back to being a professional, you know what I mean? I mean, you did your deployments and trash, like, so what it's like being out there, like, did you deploy to Iraq or Afghanistan?
Actually, dude, my military career is going to be a big disappointment to a lot of people. Like, it's nothing special. So I mean, I'm not going to put any fallacy or, myth about it or even soften it up. I was in 1-3 Alpha Company from 2013 to 2017. During that time, we were only doing UDPs to Okinawa and Korea.
Sweet.
I mean, so I went over there, and I'd say it was a big drinking fest, but I mean, I don't drink, so I just did what I was going to do. And then I got out and I went to Afghanistan, static security. I did that. A few things happened there, but that was actually the first place I put a weapon to someone, and nothing happened. He backed off, and that was it with that directly in regards to me. And then Iraq, it was I was a firearms instructor for near 18 months, and then I was there during the siege of Baghdad, and that was going on. But again, nothing really happened directly at me. It was just I'd always felt like a bystander. Like everywhere I go, nothing's happening. I'm like,
I got my gun, guys. Like I can play.
I'm here at the party. Let's party. Yeah, right. You train for something for so long. Eventually, you want to play the game. But the game wasn't happening, and then I guess the game got called off on Saturday. So,
heck yeah.
Which I'm glad for. I went in there with the frame of mind is I don't want to harm Americans. I don't want to harm anyone if I can. I'm going to make the decision to save life, not take life, unless they made the decision to take. So
yeah. Well, it was a hairy choice point that you rolled up on. I mean, he had a weapon, and like I guess he had a weapon and he discharged it a few times. Did he discharge it a few times around you?
The first shooter fired 4 rounds.
Okay, so he was already like playing. He was playing the game. So I mean, there's chips on the table. So good on you to be able to execute on that, get that weapon without it escalating. I think there was something to be said for your level of intensity when you're moving. He just had never seen a human probably like that in his entire life, like move on him like that. You know what I mean? Like I had a guy one time pull a knife on me he followed me. He was following me actually to a client's house. We cut each other off in traffic. I stopped. I'm in Orange County, California, Dana Point. I mean, it's like we call it the orange curtain over here. It's like not even real, right? Yeah. I pull into the parking lot in Gelson. It's kind of a public area for my own protection. Dude gets out with a K-bar, starts walking towards me. So, simplifies.
At least he picked a good knife.
Yeah. At least he had a decent. I'm like, just got out of the Marine Corps. I just got done with my deployment. It's like, I think I'm like 23 or 4. Wrong time to mess with me. There's like no higher level adult judgment yet. All I know is I ain't been able to eat meat for a long time. I get out of the car and man, I got back in the car and he just turned around and ran off. And my girlfriend at the time was like, I think he just didn't know men like you still existed. Like he looked at you like he never seen anybody. He just didn't think people like you existed anymore.
Funny thing, in direct relation to that, I was actually out again the other day, and I had to really cover it up. Because now my face is apparently everywhere. Like I've had people hit me up from all over the world. It's crazy. But my brothers took off early from work to come out and basically run security for me as I'm running security for my news team. Mm-hmm. And I was working with a different team, and this reporter, very professional, great hard worker, but she's like, how can you just be that aggressive and mean and everything? I was like, do you want me to show you? Like,
it's always there.
Do you want me to show you? And she's like, I mean, I guess. So I just yelled like right in her face, and she looked like she just put her face up to a fan, and she's like, oh, whoa. And then I was like, you good? Like, are you all right? And she's like, how are you smiling right now? She just couldn't get it. And like, for me, it was like, I understand some people out there, they've never had to get aggressive or be aggressive. They've lived a very plush and privileged life. And honestly, in some ways, that's leading to what's going on right now. In some ways, in a lot of ways, that's leading to what's going on right now.
A lot of ways.
But, and that's unfortunate. So, it's kind of funny. And I didn't really think about it. And people keep saying I did all this cool stuff and they breaking down, isolating these different things. I'm like, I haven't had a chance to come down off of that. Then this flood of media and everything going on that's literally catapulting me into the dreams that I was trying to make happen anyways. So I think when everything settles down and I get a minute and I can go back and look at it and really decipher it for myself and be like,
well, this is what it meant.
Yeah. Was that actually cool?
Well, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, I just think too, man, like you kind of have been training to be a certain person for a long time. You know what I mean? So like you've been training for this. The Marine Corps freaking gave you all the engine modifications, all the software, like, you know what I mean? So like it's almost just what would be expected. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And yeah.
So like society might, especially unconditioned society, like not warrior culture, would be like, you should be scared. You should be this. We all know that we're managing a storm 90% of the time during the day. Like, why do you work out every morning, Byron? So I can just make sure I'm PG-13 by the time I deal with you. Like, I can make sure that, like, I'm exercising a beast, a madman, and like me in the middle trying to just make sure, by the grace of God, I don't call fire down from heaven on everybody during the day, So
yeah.
Well, you know that.
And I completely agree. It's I was trying to like put myself in my wife's shoes. Like,
yeah,
she deals me on day-to-day basis, and I'm just a goofy, forgetful dude who, wants to play with the dog on the ground, and he licked my head. And then she saw the video and was like,
huh?
Oh. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but then I already have it. You know what I'm saying?
What was it like inside, like obviously, all right, so you're there, you got to work, you're being a professional. You said something I talked about with some of my students the other day is like, when you're there to do a job, someone's like, well, what do you do if you run into like racial issues or people that disagree with you or whatever? I'm like, I don't care.
You know what I did? I will tell you flat out what I did. It was super simple. Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, and I made my way through. No shit, my entire mindset going into that day was I need to blend in. I need to make sure they don't know who I am, why I am there, and I will do anything to make sure that happens. My news crew knows who I am. They know why I'm there. They have no misconceptions. And I thought about it like, okay, if this does get put on film of me acting goofy or whatever, like, and it does get blown up what I'm actually there for in a professional manner and I'm acting this way, well, I don't really care because I'm in a place that's very hostile and I'm trying to make the decisions to blend me in with a crowd that could easily overwhelm me. I mean, I'm one dude.
Oh yeah.
So man, when I'm out there doing that kind of stuff, I'm not trying to stand there looking all tough and ex-military and everything. I'm grabbing a drink and a Red Bull. I'm shooting the shit. But while that's happening, I'm looking at you. I'm looking around you. I'm doing all these little things. I'm very loose and trying to be moving around. I'm dressed like them. After those events that same day, a picture just got sent to me of what I looked like because I had changed. And again, I look like them, but I changed. The other day, I looked like them. And one of my buddies that I worked with, he was out there and he made the decision to look ex-military and all contractor. And I had the same thought, but he didn't recognize me until I was right in his face. And he's like, who are you? And I just pulled it down a little bit. He's like, oh, he's like, dude, I didn't even recognize you. I'm like, well, that's the goal. If someone who knows me doesn't recognize me.
Heck yeah. No, that's good stuff. Those are really good pointers. I had a dude, we did the inauguration in DC, this last one, and one of my buddies went into McDonald's with his little Republican pin on. And I was like, bruh. and we told him, I was like, can't be going into McDonald's, my man. Not today with your little Republican pin on. And it literally went down just like that. He went to McDonald's. He got jumped. The car got totaled by the mob. He had to literally E&E out of there. They put screwdrivers through the car, like popped one of the tires. It was like a block away from where that limousine got lit on fire. And I was like, dude, you got to be thinking about what you're doing, like the finesse of the whole entire job. You know what I mean? The hard skills might save your life. These soft skills, man.
And it's like anonymity dodges bullets more than armor, more than bulletproof armor. And even a decision like that of putting a Republican pin and walking into McDonald's, man, I have the same conversation with myself when I want to put stickers on a water bottle, that I carry a water bottle with me. Do I want to put this really cool gun related sticker on there that says shoot to the face or something on my water bottle and walk around.
Shoot to the chest, one of that face.
Yeah, like, do I want to do something like that? Yeah. Right. Should I? Probably not. So I have boring water bottles.
Yeah, boring water bottles. But yeah, nobody's thin slicing you while you're walking around. So
yeah, and it's just like all these little everyday decisions. And like, I actually regret putting a Marine Corps sticker on my wife's car, and it makes me sad that I have that regret, because I want us to be a nation where we could show that pride all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I just kind of made my wife's car a target. So
yeah,
but on the flip side of that, it also helps. It could help her out in certain situations, because I've been helped in certain situations.
Yeah. No, I dig it, man. Heck yeah. No, that's good stuff, man. So inside these protests, man, did you see a lot of the violence, and was it like everybody in there tearing stuff up, or were the protesters kind of like, hey, don't tear stuff up, and there was one group tearing stuff up? What was that dynamic like, man?
Well, do you want me to tell you about Saturday, the day of the on record events, or do you want me to tell you about like the last day I was out?
Any of it you think is relevant, all of it, whatever you think makes more sense.
Because I think the difference between both days is actually very important of what's going on, at least here in my city here. That Saturday, those events, there were rioters and there were protesters, and I'm wearing this out right now. But they're two very different things, right? There were more rioters on Saturday than protesters. And honestly, the protesters, regardless of whatever anyone's protesting, if I agree with it or not, you're protesting, you're doing things right, you're doing it peaceably. Absolutely, you're standing up for an American, value.
We got your back, yeah.
Exactly. Those rioters were not, and there were way more of them. So it was a very hostile environment because of that. And those two guys I had taken those firearms from, they had done nothing but escalate. They had escalation of force every single time. So I escalated the force higher and I disarmed them. But I was out just the other day after Saturday, and I saw something completely different. And I was super stoked. Like, yeah, some of the stuff they were doing was like, you need some more education, because that's not it. But there were more protesters than there were rioters, and the protesters were pulling the rioters out of the crowd and getting them out of there. I mean, a couple of dudes threw a beating on them, but they got them out of there. They took them away from the point of friction that they were trying to ignite, and they ripped them out. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Handle your own, Marine Corps, you got a dude acting out, you handle your own. And that's what they did. Yeah. And I was super stoked to see that. Like, I don't care what you're protesting for, as long as you're doing it right. And I'm not trying to misconstrue. I'm not saying I don't care about what they're protesting for, but that was legit. And that was probably the coolest thing I've seen in a long time, was protesters taking out those rioters and getting them out of that crowd and keeping it from escalating, because they don't understand. The police don't want it to escalate either.
This is cool because that's what I'm hoping for, man. Because I see the things that are happening with these protests / riots, and I'm seeing the damage being done to Americans, and it's like, really, guys? Like, if you're American, like, you can't allow someone else to destroy our nation and our country and have it be condoned. You know what I mean? It's like, this is home.
It's sad. It's really sad. And it's really heartbreaking. And that's again, another thing I framed in my mind is these are Americans, regardless of what they're doing. And I don't want to take American life. I value all life, but American life, I'm an American, And honestly, I think a lot of those rioters and looters and active shooters, they gave up. They threw away a lot of those rights and privileges that we in this country have. And I guarantee you, probably 95% of them have never ever left this country to see what else is out there and to realize.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, dude. I was blasting on a video with that last night. I was like, 90% of these people don't even realize that being born here, they're in the 80th percent of the richest people on the planet. Like, you hit the lottery, you hit the second lottery. Being born is a lottery. Being born in America is a lottery. Yeah. And then on top of that, they don't even have 6% of Americans have passports. These cats don't even know how bad the rest of the world is. And
I know.
Like, I'm sitting there like, have you ever seen anarchy? Because we've been to countries where it literally is anarchy.
They live there though, and that's the thing, that it's not anarchy, but that's how they live. And it's crazy because when those here that say, oh yeah, I want the apocalypse to happen, I want all this stuff to happen because then, you know, shit's on, and like, all right.
And they watch Lost.
Have you ever been to a country where what you call an apocalypse is their day-to-day life?
Right.
Here's your reality check.
Literally. Nah, man, it's true, bro. And I sit here and I see these little things and these little kind of teeny boppers and these dudes with these little skinny jeans talking about this stuff. And I'm like, homie, literally what will happen is gangs will form and violent men will do whatever they want without order. And it's literally, it's ugly and it's man law. And 90% of the people I see that are like, oh, I'm looking forward to anarchy. I'm like, you wouldn't survive. I'm like, you wouldn't survive, homie.
Not at all.
You'd be subjugated and that'd be your only way to survive. You know? Good night. Like, okay, cool. Law enforcement's gone. Now what? Now guys like us that know how to fight, form gangs, and really literally run everything. There's no justice. It's not the way people want it to be, man. So one of the main things that I was kind of really looking forward to was hearing that the protesters are actually policing their own.
And that was that day. Not yesterday, day before that. That's what was happening, and I couldn't tell you as to what's happening now or what happened between. I was supposed to be out there yesterday to work, and I told them, like, look, I'm trying to balance work and opportunity here, and right now I gave into work the day prior, and now I got to give into some opportunity right now. So,
what's up?
Well, yeah, and that's just because of the one event that this happened. If not, I would be out there every single day right now. Right. And if I had my way, not a single person would know.
No, that's what's up. No. I dig it, man. So what would you say about, this whole Antifa thing, man? Because I'm sitting here, I haven't been to any of the protests yet. I'm thinking about rolling down to one just to observe things, because I'm leaning on, like, is this an insurgency? Did the people, were the kind of the protesters really familiar with, were these foreign fighters, or were they a funded organization that was mixed in there doing things? What do you think about that?
I don't want to say anything that I do not have any education on, because I believe that those who are speaking on something that they don't have any education on shouldn't be speaking. And right now with this question, I'm in that position. I have my own observations of what I saw, but what I saw is, isolated to my own little scope of vision in the world. Yeah. But I will say that Antifa being a thing at all within our country is a problem. And on both sides of the fence should be remedied.
Yeah.
And I will say that Antifa's, their way to achieve their goals, being violent and trying to push their political agenda violently. Well, what does that fall under? That falls directly under the definition of terrorism.
A terrorist organization, right?
I'm sorry. You know what? Screw that. I'm not even sorry. They did that. They said, this is our agenda. We're going to act violently.
Yeah.
We're going to do whatever we can to achieve that agenda, even if it's violence. And we're going to pick violence as our means. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and write up your slip. And we're gonna punch your card when that time comes. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's mad terroristy, man. It's real terroristy to me.
Yeah, and it's another sad thing. It's like, this is our country, man. Like, why would you want to do that? The things you're doing to your own city, the things you want done, the organization that you're doing across the country, I mean, that's kind of easy these days, social media and the ability to connect and communicate. It makes things super easy, and I would never want to infringe on that, and I don't think we should. But let's put a little more thought behind what we're doing, guys, and just knock it the fuck off.
Yeah, 100%,
think before you do something. I thought before I went into work on Saturday.
Made a decision before you even got there. And, I guess one of the things I just want to point out kind of as we wind this thing down, man, is just, what you did as a private citizen, what you did as just being who you are, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what I really want to try to contribute and help a lot of Americans train and understand how to do. You know what I mean? Like I want Americans to be able to bring that on-scene accountability. Like the church shooting we had, was it last year at the end of the year, man? That was another great example of a protector, dude, just like showing up when he was needed.
Absolutely 100% a badass move he made, right? And the thing that was different, and I thought about this the other day a little bit, the thing that was different between my situation and his shooter was shooting at people. My first shooter was shooting at vehicles, and then when I got to him, he was messing with the weapon, trying to figure something out. And at that moment, it looked like a situation I've been in hundreds of times, taking weapons from shooters that didn't know what they were doing, So, boo, give me your gun. And I took it and I got him out of there. I got it out of there.
Boo, give me your gun. And that was the second weapon you had snatched up.
The shooter, the one that actually fired, was the first. The video that everyone's seeing is the second. That rifle strapped to me, they're like, oh, why wasn't he using a rifle? Blah, blah, blah. Well, that was another police rifle. That there were two out there. There were two people trying to do this thing.
Yeah, that's what I heard, man. So solid, man. Solid work. Great cleanup. What would you say is your favorite quote, mantra, anything like that?
There are so many out there that I keep in mind and that I try to follow, and they're all in regards to different things, but they all follow. So I think before you act. Think before you act.
Think before you act. Done. That's what's up. What would you say to somebody who, maybe a civilian or just anybody who wants to be able to do the things that you did the other day, that looks at you and finds what you did inspirational? Like, what would you say to them? What kind of advice would you give them? And where should they start?
Train. Huh? Train. Flat out train. There's so many good people out there. And there's so many good people out there that know what they're doing. It's not that hard to find anymore. You just got to, circle the weeds a little bit and figure it out. Most of your local gun shops, no, they attract a type of person. Stuff like
true
that.
Story. Such a true story.
That's an entire other podcast.
Admittedly, I admittedly avoid gun shops quite a bit.
Yeah. So someone who really knows what they're doing, they're probably not going to your gun shops. But yeah, train. If you don't know, like I've had a lot of people come up to me, and now over social media even more, is I don't know what I want, but I keep getting told I need to buy this gun, buy this gun, buy this gun. Well, now you're already being told the wrong thing, because if you know what you should buy, then you have training behind you. So train, get your hands on a few firearms, regardless of what they are, figure out what's good for you, and then make a decision, because you have education to make that decision. And again, that is thinking before you acting.
Yeah, 100%, man.
That circled rather nicely.
Yeah. You see what I did there? That was good, man. Yeah. They say rookies spend money on hardware, professionals spend money on software, man. That's what's up. Yeah. Cool, man. How would you like to be remembered?
Well, you got me stumped there.
This is one of them good ones, man. It's one of them deep ones. We went back deep on you real quick.
You asshole. My father is an amazing man, and he's contracting right now. He's over in Pakistan working right now, and he's been contracting for near 20 years. And through all that he's been through, Iraq and everything, he's got more time in that country than people have in the military, and they have a career in the military. Right.
Wow.
But he has to be one of the fucking toughest dudes out there. but he never misses an opportunity to tell me he loves me. He never misses an opportunity to hug me. And he's still a tender, loving father. I would like to be like that. That'd definitely be a worthy thing to be remembered by.
Heck yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, no, I think it's healthy masculinity, dude. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of bad examples out there, like macho and tough guy BS, and I think as we evolve as men, we generally see that the guys that are acting tough are usually the weakest, the scaredest.
Yeah, because
it's kind of funny. You're like, oh, you're uptight.
And where does the true power come from? The true power comes from, you know, the Jedi would hate this. It comes from passion in what you're doing, because that passion drives that will to accomplish that action. And, you know, that's just the balance. And I'm a super nerd, but that's the balance of the Force. And that's what's up. That's where these remarkable things are done all over the world by people for our country that you will never heard of, never know about.
Yeah. No, it's 100% true. That's 100% true, man. Yo, it's been good talking with you a little bit about what happened. I mean, I would ask you to everyone's seen the clip, seen the video. Shooter Rughi's rolling through. You're up in Seattle, up in Washington?
I'm up in northern Washington, yeah, up in the Sound, and yeah.
Heck yeah. Snatching rifles away from bad guys. I want you all to really, you know, pay attention to the things we said here and talked about here, because you can do it too. And I think, what would you, in closing too, you know, like, I'm starting to feel like it might be the responsibility of an American to, if you see someone damaging your homeland, if you see someone damaging your environment and you have the skills, man, like, maybe think about doing something if things are happening.
I wrote this down earlier.
Don't just expect it.
This came to my mind earlier. Where did I put it? I feel like it's super important. This, you know, I've said it a couple times already, and I didn't feel totally right about saying it. And I don't mean here, but somewhere else. It says, you know, I feel like everyone would have done that in my position, especially people that picked my job. Well, you know what? That's not true. I think that I feel like everyone should do that in that position, is what I think. I think everyone should do that in that position. I feel like everyone should, but I know not everyone would. And that difference between the two, that is the gap we need to bridge. And we need to bridge it to everyone needs to act rightly in line with, you know, with our values.
Yo, I'm just writing that down.
Yeah, because, you know, every time I hear that, and I've never thought I'd be in a position to say that, is, you know, I just think I just did what everyone else would do. It never totally sat right with me. And today, like, after years of that not sitting right, it just kind of clicked. I feel like everyone would do that, but, you know, it's saddening to know not everyone would. That's what I wrote down on a piece of paper.
Heck yeah. No, it sounds like you're just a protector at your core, and you're just like, I just did what anybody would do. Yeah. like this is what needed to be done. Someone had to do it. And I was there in the spot. Cool, man. So what are you up? Where can people find you? What are you up to these days?
Where people can find me is _shooter_Rughi_. I know there's a lot in there, but that's where you can find me, and that's where I'm going to try to launch my business off of. That's the platform I'm going to try to use now that, you know, the entire world's seen it. But I'm trying to start a business, and this business is it's going to be in firearms gear, but nothing. Okay. I'm not trying to do this same tactical thing that's out there. I'm trying to make very adaptable pieces and customizable to the end user's means. But right now, the one product that's going to be my foundation to launch off of is for the precision shooting arena, whether it be military, law enforcement, snipers, to competition, to backcountry hunting, or, you know, just a guy that likes to go out with his little 22 and plink steel. And that's what I'm trying to make right now. And I have a prototype, and I would show you, and I'd love to, but I can't, not yet. But I will get it out there. And my wife just filed for the business license, so everyone knows where it's at. Last night, so that was a little bit of a celebration. We got that got that off. So,
heck yeah.
Literally in his fetus. So I guess stay tuned is a phrase I should be using now. It will be getting done as soon and as fast as possible. And I can't do anything but feel appreciated and overwhelmed with the help that's coming my way now. It's really undeserved.
Well, you had to be the man to be the. So I have this saying: you got to be the man to be the man. You know what I'm saying? So there's an opportunity. The abyss opens up. Everyone's not doing anything.
Yeah.
You get this opportunity, but you were the man who answered the call, who did the thing. To us, it is what it is. But you had to be the man to be the man. You know what I'm saying? So it's your time. I mean,
yeah.
So
can't argue with that at all, I guess.
Heck yeah, no, good job, bro. Straight up representing for the Marine Corps and for every other demographic you're a part of, man. So I'm glad we're connected, and hopefully we'll do some more hood rat stuff around here. And
we definitely need to connect and link up sometime, and do some fun stuff.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah. All right, Shooter. Thank you so much for your time, brother. It's an absolute honor. Look him up, y'all. And there's gonna be more stuff coming down range. I'll see y'all in the next episode. Out. Boom. Boom. Yo, what up? I hope you guys really enjoyed that episode. Hey, listen, in order to get more out of the brand, I want to encourage you to go join us on our social media platforms and join us at protectornation.com. We post different types of content on our different platforms at different times. You'll get blog posts, you'll get videos, you'll get real world combat engagements and things like that. So stay plugged in order to get the most out of the brand. In order to support us, also go to protectornation.com and buy something, or join forces with me on Patreon. You'll scroll down the homepage and you'll see the link. Anything you can give counts. Think about whatever you would lose in your cushions or like spend on McDonald's this month, $5 a month, whatever it is. That helps us make the world a better place by making good people dangerous. Anyways, this is Byron Rogers, protector by nature and by trade, and I'll see you on the next piece of content, whether it's a video or podcast. Out.